Hello, everybody that's watching this video. And if you saw the title, I'm going to be talking about uh, how high school kind of sucked for me. And before I start with that, I just want to say I appreciate and thank the people that watched my previous video because honestly, I didn't expect for it to reach 100 views. I just wanted to make a video because I kind of just like making videos of me speaking my mind on things I don't know that going on in life, or things that I want to reflect on, things that I hope can happen in the future, or stuff like that. And because, as I said before, I remember watching, a YouTuber that does this kind of thing, and the things that he said has really made me think a lot of things, and helped me a lot with how to better myself and how to be more, I guess, motivated and patient on the progress of YouTube. And uh, I also do want to think that, as my friends also talking about how they do also want to help me as well, that all of us want to, and that they also believe that my channel will do good too. And I thank them for that, for the support as well. But anyways, I just want to say that, and right now we're gonna be talking about high school. And I know I've already made a video of it's called Reflecting High School, but that was mainly on, like I said before, if you saw a post that I made, a community post, it was mainly because of a project that I made for school. And but in reality, I honestly think that for me, high school was pretty bad. And I know I said this, but I'm gonna be going more in depth of it. So let's start off from freshman to senior. And it's gonna take a little while, but not too much. But you'll see. So, uh, back in freshman year, it was pretty rough because many people know, it's in a school. I mean, you really are nervous from what you're expecting. Many people have said when I was in middle school that, oh, high school is gonna be terrible. High school is gonna be really hard or whatever. And that made me, kind of worried. And I didn't want to go to high school, but, obviously we had to. And in freshman year, at first, it was really bad. Like, honestly, it was really stupid because um, the first few weeks or maybe months, I was actually skipping school. And I was making it really hard for me in other classes because I would have to catch up. Because I missed so much shit that I had to do, and my grades were already terrible at that point. And at that point, I really didn't care. But of course, I didn't get away with it because my mom did eventually find out, and she did get fucking pissed at me. And that's reasonable because who'd want their little shitty ass fucking kid just skipping school and working her ass off just for their kid to just skip his education? And every time I reflect on that, I always feel like a piece of shit and such a lazy fuck. And I hated it because that was one of the reasons why school really sucked for me. And when I say school sucked for me, it was mainly because of my fault. It wasn't really part of the school's fault. Maybe there is another thing that was part of the fault, but we'll get into that. Anyways, in freshman year, there was also, I think mid towards the freshman year, there was a strike that happened, and the teachers mainly talked about, oh, it's gonna last maybe a few days, like 1 or 2 days. And I was like, all right, it's fine. So we didn't go to school those days. But then we later found out that that shit was gonna take even longer. I think we didn't have school for like 2 weeks or three. I'm not sure. I haven't asked my friends yet, but it lasted a long ass time, and it was kind of rough, or because it was kind of rough for us to just go back because we were lazy, and having to just suddenly go back to school after taking such a long ass break that wasn't really meant to happen. I mean, sure, but then of course, almost, kind of, almost at the end, not really. COVID happened, and I hate it. I hate talking about COVID because it just seems like another excuse. But COVID was just terrible. COVID was terrible for everyone. Everyone started losing their jobs because of quarantine. Especially in my household, my mom was having struggles with a job, and also she was pretty sick for a little while. But there was also family issues as well, which also put a pretty big impact on motivation and just happiness. Because I mean, I really was worried about my mom because when she was sick, it was like really bad. Like she could barely get out of the fucking sofa, and especially with relationships with my mom and someone else, it was pretty bad. I'm not gonna go into it because it's privacy, privacy reasons. I'm not trying to put it out on the internet, and that was getting really bad. And my mom was at one of her lowest for sure, and I was getting really worried, and I was really hoping that she wasn't gonna suffer anything or pass away or something. I was pretty worried. And then eventually, uh, when that shit started happening in freshman year, I wasn't really like aware that we were still having to work on our classes, which I know it's kind of stupid. But because of that, I think I failed a class and maybe two, maybe one or two classes. I don't know what the other ones, but because of that, I failed one or two classes. I think one of them was biology. Fuck biology, honestly. It's not hard. It's just boring. Um, and then of course it was when online learning happened, which was in sophomore year. And sophomore was for sure terrible. I fucking hated sophomore. Everyone hated sophomore. There were kids that liked sophomore or didn't care. I mean, it was hard, and they said. I mean, sure, but it was pretty bad for me because my motivation to just work on shit at all was gone, completely gone. And because of that, I was failing a shit ton of classes. Luckily, I failed some. I didn't fail some important classes like driver's ed, history. I don't know what else, but I failed a lot of classes because of that. I think I failed like three. I don't know if it's four, but a lot of classes. And you know how that badly impacted me for junior year and senior year. When that shit ended sophomore year, it was pretty bad. I know I keep saying pretty bad, but it was just terrible. Me and my friends, or at least most of them, mostly every one of them, they had their grades good. Luckily, they were fine. It was me and Dylan though that kind of were impacted by that. He failed, I think, one or two classes. I'm not sure, maybe more, but he did eventually, you know, become better in the other years. He wasn't as lazy as now, kind of. He still kind of is. I'm joking, Dylan. But anyways, moving on to junior year, uh, that was mainly just recovering classes, and uh, that was annoying because I think that was just mainly night school, and everyone knows how bad night school is for the people that have gone to night school. If you haven't gone to night school, consider yourself lucky because don't go it. Don't ever do night school. You may think it's just easy, but it's. I mean, sure, it's easy, I guess, but it's incredibly boring and incredibly time consuming. We already have to stay there from 8 to 3:15, and I have to stay another 3 hours all the way to 6. Oof, yeah, that's just making my shit even worse. And I was kind of struggling on one of my classes because I did it. What was it? First period. I would be ending up arriving late for the first period, and because of that, it was getting kind of hard for me to catch up on that class. And I would sometimes talk to the teacher, but he would mainly want me to go to class. he would give me assignments to work on that I missed, but he wouldn't accept them, or at least a little while later, he wouldn't accept them until I start arriving to class. And it's a reasonable thing because, I mean, I can't just be, that's kind of unfair if I just get graded and I don't even show up in the class. Makes it's I just find it's fine. And then I couldn't I was able to complete a night school, but I just couldn't handle in, I think, what was it? The next semester. I had to do it, I'm pretty sure, or I don't know if it was throughout the whole semesters, but I had to do two instead of just one. And that would mean that I would have to do night school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Luckily, not Friday, I think. Yeah, no, not Friday. But having to arrive at home all the way at 6 was just terrible. And especially because I didn't live close to the school. I had to take the bus to go to school. And because of that, it would take me around an hour to arrive to school, so I would have to get there pretty early or get there quickly. But because of that, sometimes, mostly I think around the winter season, at around 6, you know how it would become nighttime already. Uh, Mostly the transportations were just unavailable. They were just unavailable for the rest of the night, and it would take me a long time to arrive home. Or sometimes they took 2 hours to arrive and made me stay out in the cold, which, just made me feel shit, like shit. It was terrible. But I do know that this was entirely my fault on my behalf. I should have paid attention and should have worked on my classes for sure when I should have back in in sophomore and freshman year. And not to mention the fact that I also had to focus on my original classes, my other classes that I have to do in junior year too. So there's that. I'm basically having to work on what, 8 classes now. Yeah, it was bad. But um after completing it, I didn't really feel satisfied, I guess. And also I was rarely ever on field trips for sure. I think in junior year, I think maybe I've been in one or two. I don't even know if there's been more. But because of that, I never really got the time to spend more time with my friends or have cool, funny moments that we could recognize or remember. And then now moving on to the last year, senior year. Now that one was where I think I felt a lot more pressure because I also had to focus on shit that was mandatory, like, how do I say this? Like, there was something that you had to do before you finished school, which was making a choice in a fucking website or whatever. I'm not gonna talk about it. But you had to show proof that you were gonna be working. You were gonna get a job. Either get a job or go to college. And because of that, I there was one thing, and I didn't want to go to college, but I do want to get a job. But lately, it's been kind of hard getting a job because it seems like no place that I've applied to just either hasn't seen my application or they just don't want it or just ignoring it. But I ended up having the chance to get an application for a job, and luckily that was able to count. Uh, Also, I still also had to work on night school, which still kind of sucked. But luckily, I think it was only one class. It was only one class, which was chemistry, and it was definitely like 10 times better chemistry. Like I learned a lot more and was at least a little more interested than when it was in my school. Um, because it was just I just felt like the teacher was more understanding and more at least interested in the topic as well. Also, I guess I didn't really learn my lesson from last year because I was also missing a lot of first period, and also sometimes second and third period. And that's kind of annoying because it was really doing a bad impact on like my grades for sure. And that also sadly made me lose the chance of also, I mean, going on field trips and having the opportunity to go to prom. And I do kind of regret missing prom. And I think I could have gone to prom, but I just didn't do the requirements or pay for it. And because of that, I guess I did kind of miss out and, have that moment with my friends, going to prom, all of us going to prom. I just wasn't there. And it kind of sucked. And it's not like I expected to take anyone with me to prom. It's fine. I get no bitches. I don't care. It's just like that. I do be like that sometimes. Anyways, it did kind of suck, and I didn't lose the chance to also go into other field trips. And uh, when there were field trips that I could have gone, but I sadly couldn't because of attendance and some other requirements, it sucked. It really sucked. Having to just stay at home, doing nothing while your friends were able to just, enjoy their time, skip some classes, and just do anything they want before their school ends. What I did was just stay in the lobby of where the office is and just wait there until school ended. I think I also did did school. Like I just left the school. I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% sure if I did. But we're that's another time for another video. But uh, I guess it just wasn't fun. Like I rarely had any moments that I had fun, and those moments were for sure with my friends, and that was like I said before. That was at least one of the main reasons why I still had that slight motivation to just finish school. And it's kind of a long shot, but to anyone that is still in school or watches this video and hasn't gone to high school yet, just complete it. Just finish high school. That's all you gotta do. It doesn't You can do whatever you want after that. Just make sure you finish high school. I'm glad that I did for sure because I just couldn't see myself ditching school and just not having a diploma. I also did have to do an online course in summer, but luckily that shit wasn't hard at all. I got the internet on my back for sure. Thank you, Brainly. Anyways, they can't ban me from that, right? I don't think they can get my diploma. Anyways, um, I did end up being able to graduate on stage, and because of that, I was really happy that I was, and really happy that I had the chance to be on stage with my friends for, I guess, the last moment of high school. Because, I mean, we achieved it. We finished high school. We finally finished our education, at least. Well, some of us are going to college, but I mean, that's fine. At least we finished the main thing that we were just tired of. And I guess I could say that our high school was definitely cut in half because of the shit that's happened in freshman and sophomore year, which sucked because I was thinking that there was going to be a lot more things that would have happened during freshman and sophomore year. And there wasn't really anything fun that I could recognize from those years. It was mainly just nightmares. That's what it was. But I do want to say that most of the time it was entirely my fault. And I kept making excuses on why I was doing so bad, but in reality, I was just trying to hide from myself of the truth. And I hope that anyone that watches this knows that don't do the things that I did because the things that I did were incredibly stupid and not worth it. Just go to school. Just go to school and just finish it. That's all you gotta do. It's the I can't speak. When I did my night school, I started realizing on how fucking easy the subjects were. And because of that, I realized how fucking stupid I was for just deciding to skip those classes and not just do them. They were incredibly easy, doing algebra, doing chemistry, doing English. Well, English was because of not arriving in first period. That was mainly because of that. And some other shit. I'm not sure. They were incredibly easy, and I was really disappointed that I couldn't just do it right there. And it's funny because some of the teachers that have had me, let's say the first two teachers, or many of the other teachers, I guess, because I did also end up skipping school days, entire days. Many of the teachers have said that I'm actually a good and like a smart student, I guess, a talented student, but the only problem was just me skipping class, or just me skipping school, just not showing up to school at all. And that just really hurt me because, I mean, it just really showed that I had the things to just be an A B student, but I just didn't put the work into it. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to say this because I don't believe that high school for everyone is gonna suck. I'm sure that high school for other people is gonna be cool because you're gonna spend time with friends and all that, just like me. Cool memories. But I just want to say mine wasn't that great. But it doesn't mean that I hated in high school. I hated being there. I'm just glad I finished it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, thank you for watching my other video. And I hope I impacted this to you. That's all I have to say.